Hey everyone, it's Dakota. Ballistic chronographs are a widely used device in Nerf to determine the velocity of blasters in feet per second, or FPS. At events that cap FPS, they're necessary to make sure no blasters on the field are exceeding the designated limits. At the moment, I don't own a chronograph. And for many people in the Nerf hobby, a price tag of $70 to $100 or more isn't worth it for a device you'll only get a few minutes of use out of. I currently use an alternate method for determining the muzzle velocity of my blasters. It's very simple, accurate enough for Nerf, and anyone with a microphone and basic audio editing software can do it. While not as precise as using a chronograph, this method will give you a very good approximation of what to expect if you were to shoot the same blaster through one. The setup looks like this. You'll need to measure out a target to be precisely 5 feet away from the muzzle of whatever blaster you're testing. Next, place a microphone at the end of that 5-foot length. This can be any microphone, even your phone or laptop's built-in mic, but I'll be using my portable recorder. Once you start recording, place the end of your blaster's barrel as close to the microphone as possible, then shoot the target several times, enough for a decent sample size. If you're testing hard-hitting blasters, I would recommend using eye protection as well. What we'll be doing with these recordings is measuring the time it takes for the projectile to impact the target. Since we already know the distance to the target to be 5 feet, we can use the time to calculate the average speed of travel within that 5 feet. Now that we have a number of recordings, let's measure out the time difference between the shot and the impact. You can use any digital audio workstation for this step, but for this video, I'll use Audacity since it's a free program anyone can download. An audio recording of a Nerf blaster being shot and impacting a target will produce two distinct spikes in the waveform. Zoom in on these spikes, then use the selection tool to select the area between them. At the bottom of the window, note the length between both spikes. Next, we must account for the delay produced by the speed of sound. At room temperature, the speed of sound is roughly 1,125 feet per second. From this, we can determine that sound takes approximately 0.0044 seconds to travel a distance of 5 feet. The equation for calculating FPS can now be pieced together. But this effectively gives you the average velocity over 5 feet, not the true muzzle velocity. To obtain a more realistic muzzle velocity, we can tack on an extra 5% to our entire equation to account for any lost speed as a result of air resistance. This is only a rough estimate though. Now let's test the reliability of this method with two blasters that have been chronographed many times by other people. When using Nerf Elite darts, the Triad is known to get around 70 feet per second, give or take. Since it uses a smart air restrictor system, I'll only shoot out of the first barrel for consistency. The Nerf Kronos, when modified with a K25 spring, has been proven to generate FPS readings around 120 and up to 130 over a chronograph. Let's see if this method can reproduce those readings. Now that we've seen how accurate this method can be, I'll test my current war primary. It's a Caliburn with a K25 spring and a Scar barrel, using worker darts. Once again, these results are not intended to be treated as exact numbers as a chronograph would produce them. Measuring out the time between two peaks in a waveform using only 3 decimal places will not generate the same accuracy as a chronograph, but it will allow you to get a clear idea of how your blaster performs. I hope this was helpful, and thank you for watching.